It's literally one word. We can email him the text. We can send him the page in the dictionary where that word is defined, if that would help.
All right, we got Andrew Scheer asking a lot of questions and coming up with actual solutions, which is nice on the comments today. And Trudeau, as usual, doesn't really answer, and all he has to do is change one word.
Mr. Scheer.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. In the early days of the pandemic and the lockdown that followed, Canadians were told by this government that programs would be rolled out very quickly and that gaps and shortcomings would be changed as time went on. While many Canadians are being let down by this government's response and unnecessarily rigid programs, Conservatives have identified solutions weeks ago, and yet here we are 2.5 months later, and many of these programs still have not been improved. So, simple question for the Prime Minister. On April 26th, Conservatives asked the Prime Minister to change the criteria for the Canada Emergency Business Accounts that small businesses who don't happen to have a business bank account can qualify for those types of programs. It's now May 27th. Is the Prime Minister going to make that change?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we knew from the beginning of this pandemic that we did need to move extremely quickly, and that's what we did. We rolled out the Canada Emergency Response Benefit extremely quickly. 8 million Canadians have had that as a replacement for paychecks lost because of COVID-19. We also moved forward on the wage subsidy and a range of other programs to support workers and small businesses. What we've done in terms of helping small businesses with the Canada Emergency Business Account has made a massive impact in small businesses across the country, but we understand that certain companies and businesses have particularities that mean it's a little more difficult for them to qualify. We are working with them through the regional development agencies, and we encourage them to approach their local RDAs who will be able to help them get the money that they deserve.
Mr. Scheer.
Mr. Speaker, these are very simple technical fixes that can be fixed by this government. There's no excuse for the delay. It's May 27th. They've known about these problems 4 weeks, and they're trying to get patted on the back for actions that they took back in March, and yet they are letting so many Canadians down by not making these very simple changes. For example, companies in the last year who have purchased another company, acquired another company, have employees whose jobs are threatened because the businesses are not allowed to qualify for the wage subsidy because their revenue is now counted together. We've identified this gap. So again, simple question, will companies who have acquired another company still be allowed to use the wage subsidy to keep workers on the job, yes or no?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I know
it looks like to me that Trudeau is just unwilling to take other party's advice. He thinks that he can rule from the top. Like he said, he respected the dictatorship, and it shows in the way he was ruling Canada.
Many different types of businesses across this country who need support. We have moved forward on supporting as many of them as we possibly can, and continue to work on filling gaps. I know the member opposite is talking about, has talked to me a number of times about a tractor company in his riding. I can assure you that finance officials are engaged with that company to try and see if there's a way where we can make sure that we're getting them the support they need.
Scheer.
It's actually a very, very simple fix. I can save him a lot of time and save his officials a lot of time. He used the word, the government used the word amalgamation when they announced the changes to that program. He can make this very clear and save a lot of work if he just included the word acquisition. Will he do that?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, I can assure you that finance officials are working closely with Brant Tractor. They're continuing to work with a range of businesses across the country who, for various reasons, are not able to apply for the situations, the help we have now. We will continue to work to make sure the people who need the help get it.
We'll go on to Mr. Scheer. Mr. Scheer.
Well, Mr. Speaker, it's literally one word. We can email him the text. We can send him the page in the dictionary where that word is defined, if that would help. Another gap that is letting people down is the rent relief program. Now, the government has set the parameters to qualify for the rent relief program for companies that have experienced a 70% revenue loss. There are untold thousands of businesses who have experienced a 60 or 65% or 55% loss, who are ineligible, who have no capacity to pay the rent. We have called for the government as early as, we have called on the government weeks ago to have a more flexible sliding scale to allow more companies to access this program, again, to keep more people on the job and more businesses open? Will the government introduce some flexibility to this program to help more businesses survive?
Well, Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, from the beginning of this pandemic, our public servants and policymakers have been moving creatively and quickly to try and get help to as many people as we possibly can, with our focus being on the people who need it the most. Obviously, this pandemic is affecting everyone and every business across the country in different ways, but our focus has been on ensuring that those who most need it are getting the help we can. We will, of course, continue to work with...
We'll leave your comments down below. What do you think about this? Did he answer the question? Should he just change the one words? Because they're just minor mistakes I think he's picking up on, and it shows that Scheer and the Conservatives are trying to make this, trying to work with the government. But they're getting stonewalled. Leave your comments down below. Share, like, and please subscribe, and have a good day.